Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Minagi, and today we're going to be having a look at Spec Ops The Line. This is my super late to the party review. This is my take on Spec Ops The Line, what I thought of it. I just finished it not too long ago, so I thought I'd share some thoughts. This is going to be a pretty quick one, I think. So, not going to be super long, not like my usual ones, just super quick, rapid fire kind of, what I thought of it, and yeah, so we'll go from there. So, first thing I want to say about this game is that it seems to want to deliberately take you out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to do the same thing with this video. So instead of showing you footage like I normally would, today I'm just going to show you some screenshots that I took and just kind of rotate them. So that'll be really uncomfortable. Anyway, first let's start with the storyline. So basically the story wasn't very good, I didn't think. So basically it's spoilers obviously. It's a section of troops moving through Dubai after some horrible sandstorm basically destroyed the city, and they're looking for survivors and all that kind of stuff. But stuff's going on, like there's some like warlord dudes taking over, and he's killing people, and it's just a mess. So you're trying to figure this out as your section, and of course, what happens is the story keeps putting all these like ridiculous sort of quote-unquote moral decisions in front of you that don't make any sense, and they're completely contrived, and you have no options anyway, so it has no impact. So like, for example, there'd be at one point you have to make a decision on which person to kill. It's like these two people get put in front of you, like literally hung in front of you, and then you hear some guy on the radio, oh, one guy did this and the other guy did that, who are you gonna kill? If you don't pick one, I'm gonna slaughter your whole squad, or something like that. And it's just like completely contrived crap like that throughout the entire game. The writing is not very good at all. The writing is actually pretty bad. And there's, I don't know if you guys have heard of this one, but the infamous white phosphorus scene. Now, if you're not familiar, white phosphorus is an incendiary weapon. It's like an explosive kind of thing that they use. I don't know if it's been banned by the Geneva Convention, probably. But long story short, it burns very hot, so it's considered to be inhumane. So it's, I don't know, it's probably banned. But anyway, the point is you've got this scene in the game, again spoilers, where you're supposed to use this to clear a path through enemies. So you do that, but unfortunately at the very end there's a bunch of like civilians, but of course you're looking at it top down, and it's all kind of like infrared looking, so you don't necessarily know there's like civilians. As the player, you got a pretty good idea, but I guess your guy didn't know or whatever, and of course the game doesn't give you an option. So it's kind of like, here, do this bad thing, now immediately feel bad about it. It's like, no, not how that works. I don't feel bad about it because you didn't give me a choice, and it's just, the game is very much on rails that way. So the whole story was kind of a mess like that. It was just like, go here, do this terrible thing, watch a cutscene that's supposed to make you feel bad about it, and rinse and repeat. So it was kind of, eh. The writing wasn't very realistic, I didn't think. Stuff like that. It wasn't great. The story's not great, which is unfortunate because it's a very heavily narratively heavy-driven game, right? So it's a little unfortunate that they couldn't nail that down a little better. Moving on, I guess the visuals, I guess people care about that. I don't personally, but I mean, what I will say is the game looks pretty good. I mean, it's an older game, so given when it came out, it probably looks pretty good for its time. I'm not super concerned about that myself, but credit where it's due. It would have looked good at the time it came out. The audio design isn't horrible. Again, pretty par for the course. It's decent enough. Now, what I really had an issue with, probably my biggest problem with the game overall, I would say, is probably the controls. This game has terrible controls. It feels like I'm trying to control a shooter with a racing wheel. That's how bad the controls are. Like, there's this weird, and you can rebind some of the controls, but not all of them. So it's like you're busy like trying to hold space bar to run or something, and trying to get behind cover, and it's a cover-based shooter basically. So there's a lot of ducking behind cover and that kind of thing, but it feels so awkward and clunky and unwieldy. I just could not get behind the combat. It was, I don't know, the gunplay itself felt tight enough, but just the clunky ass controls of running around and trying to get stuff done, it just was no good, absolutely no good. So the controls are terrible, and to be perfectly honest with you, I was actually pretty glad to get through this game. Not because I was excited to see the ending, but just because I wanted to get through the game. I was not super impressed by the end of it. It didn't have any real redeeming qualities. I just thought it was a very generic, plain Jane, not particularly exceptional game that was clearly designed for console play, and then they basically copy-pasted on the PC with hardly any consideration for the control scheme. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't try playing with a controller. I was playing with a keyboard and mouse. Maybe you'd have better luck playing with a controller on PC, I guess. I don't know. But at any rate, long story short, overall thoughts: bad story, bad controls, decent visuals and sound effects, but a lot of really contrived, quote unquote moral decisions that aren't actual decisions because the game's very much on rails. You don't have any choices anywhere. So it's kind of a, like I said before, do this horrible thing and then feel bad about it. It's like, nah, that didn't work for me at all. But anyway, that's what I thought of the game. Super quick, rapid fire review here, guys. I didn't want to make a long one out of this. I just wanted to record my thoughts after playing it while they're nice and fresh. So anyway, there it is. I can't recommend this game. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I'd probably say, I don't know, 6-ish maybe. I don't think it's bad enough to warrant a 5, though those controls are pretty bad. Maybe I'm on the basis of the controls, but I don't know. I got to be somewhat fair. I'm going to give this one probably a 6 out of 10 if we're going to do that. But anyway, so there's my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.